This is Steve Levy from ESPN, and you're listening to Missin Curfew.
What's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshaw in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas, coming to you from Hall Pass Media in Newport Beach, this is Missin Curfew. And before the boys start snapping around, let's not forget this show is always presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Obes, the up dog, and our boy Swishy Swish. And used to be one of my favorite cities, up dog.
Used to be.
Chi-town,
used to be one of the best
baby.
cities of all time.
Yeah.
There was a stretch that no other city other than New York could compete with this city.
The Tavern on Rush.
The Tavern, the V.
Or was it the Rush on Tavern? No, the Tavern on
Rush. You
Rush.
couldn't walk up and down that fucking boulevard without having a strong, stiff wrench.
Yeah, it's so true. Swishy, what a shot, man. You look like you're in a board meeting, an office.
Yeah, it's Prestige Worldwide over here. I'm going to lead the Q1 performance meeting here in about an hour and a half, boys. We got to make this quick. But yeah, sitting at my boy's office here. He's a money manager, manages all the money I don't have. And I'm looking at the Chicago River. It's incredible. Got a great view here. And man, you speaking of like just cities in the summer. I mean, I'm a Midwest guy, but for me, this has always been number one. Like I just walking around last night, even during the day, it's fucking incredible, man. It's so good. The vibe right now in Chicago, I wish I could bottle that up for the entire year. Because it's amazing.
Like Uppy said, a lot like New York, right? Best time of year is spring and fall in Chi-town.
Seasons.
I will never forget one of the coldest I've ever felt, Swishy, is we had a couple days in Chi-town after we played the Hawks. So obviously went out the night after the game, got absolutely in one, day off the next day. We're staying at the old Weston Bayshore there on Michigan Ave, and I'm laying around all day. And I'm like, fuck, I better get out of the hotel here and stretch the legs and maybe go and get a bite to eat. And I came out on Michigan Ave, and the wind coming off of fucking Lake Michigan there, my man, besides Fort McMurray in Finland, it was the coldest I've ever felt. And I just turned around, went right back in and ordered probably a chicken club right to the room and called her a night.
Yeah, well, first off, what team was that with? Because why are you staying at the Westin right on Michigan Ave? You should be at the Peninsula, no?
Yeah, well, by the way, it was the Vancouver Canucks. And fast forward, after that, Bo, we always stayed at the Peninsula. Always.
National League.
And I got my own room because Biekska fucking punted me as roommate, so I got my own room at the Peninsula. It was nice.
That's one like really rich lobby. When you walk in, you're like, National League. You walk up the stairs. Any hotel that you walk up a nice little set of stairs into just a glorified ballroom for a lobby.
It's got one of those toilets too, and you just take a dump and just sit on there and hit the button. Like, you're just like, yeah.
Starts squirting the taint, so you can hit the city with a nice fresh feel.
Like when you guys were playing, especially the Hawks in their heyday, Chicago had to feel like arguably the most National League city, no? Is that fair besides New York?
I think in my era, and I don't want to speak for Uppy, but yeah, I'm going to put Chicago ahead of even MSG. And you know what? I'll throw Staples in there too because the Kings were good. And obviously it was kind of a, coming home for me, being living in Cali now. But man, back in the day, you walk in the Madhouse, fuck, it was already 3/4 full by warm-up. There's a buzz in the city. Everyone wearing Blackhawks jerseys. It was one of my favorite cities to play in. Besides, they were obviously a really good hockey club.
Yeah, and they were so good that you very rarely, especially for me, I thought I played on some great teams with great guys, like warm cities, whatever. Florida, Phoenix, Philly was probably my best time with the best group of guys. But you walked into Chicago to play those guys, you felt like, fuck, man, I wish I was on the Hawks. I wish I played for these guys. They're all fucking living in sick condos, sick penthouses downtown. The city goes off. There's no curfew. Fucking walk around the town. You just left, right. There's babes everywhere. It just was concerts going on. Lollapalooza was fucking sick. And you just were like, man, why do these guys get on? Yeah, why do these guys get to have all the fun?
Yeah, no,
but it was well deserved for those fuckers too, by the way.
And Swishy Swish, the icing on the cake is 9 out of 10 times Vince Vaughn was sitting front row right in the corner, and I was huge Vince Vaughn guy, so I got charged up even more seeing him there. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, and and not to discredit Staples, but it was downtown LA, right? Where it's a little bit removed from either the beach or Hollywood. Chicago, you're staying on Michigan Avenue, you're in the Gold Coast, right around Viagra Triangle. Like, you can just feel that buzz, like, leading into a game when they were that good. And I just remember coming down to the city when I was a younger fella, and even playing growing up with the Chicago Mission, and just feeling that buzz around a playoff game. Like, I still don't know if I've really seen that in a U.S. city. I've seen it in Canada, but man, those heydays, dude, so sick.
So good. United Center. What a hard building to go in and try to fucking get 1 point, let alone two.
I loved playing there.
Yeah, sick. Like dark lighting.
Yeah.
They just lit up the ice.
I would have rather taken my chances going into the Madhouse than going into the Joe. I got more scar tissue from going into the Joe than I do the Madhouse. And I got a lot of scar tissue from both. Yeah.
Good visiting room too.
Where's Chicago?
Yeah, good little, everyone's in it, you know.
It's so sick the way you walk up, you know, you come out and you walk up the stairs onto the bench too. I always liked that about the United Center.
Yeah, your room was right there attached. You had the cold tubs, guys just fucking gearing down, jumping in. Showers were right there, change of clothes were right there. I'll never forget Danny Markov. Well, I was in Nashville, and I was just a rookie. I don't even think I was playing that night. And I come in, I'm doing my workout after the first, like, changed, showered up to go upstairs, and he's like, "Up, you come in here." And he used to smoke cigarettes in the fucking bathroom during games. And he had like 6 darts in the toilet, and he's like, "How am I playing?" I'm like, "Fuck, I haven't watched a lick of the game."
Yeah.
He's like, "Man, I came home so late last night, and I didn't know what room I was in, and I knock, and fucking, I thought my key didn't work, and Brent Peterson, our D coach, opens the door." Petey opens the door.
He's a
Danny,
beauty.
fucking go to bed, you know. And so this is, and I must have been at 2 a.m. So he felt a little guilty, you know.
Yeah.
And he's asking me how he's playing. I said, "Buddy, I don't know, just get the puck out."
Petey wouldn't have cared though.
No,
Petey's a beauty.
Danny Markov played hard every night.
Yeah. Hard on and off the ice. That's old school.
Just
I think
smoking darts. 6, 7 darts in the toilet.
Fuck, I can't believe
Just
smoking
right
darts
down
in between periods.
Right down to the butt.
Just the smell of it on your gloves and shit. You know,
He used to bring a portable ventilation system, like a little thing to clean the air in the bathroom. And in Nashville, in the shower room there, he had a full smoking room.
Jesus. That's old school NHL.
Old school. Fuck. Speaking of old school.
Hey, boys, speaking of fucking jumping in cold tubs, I'm officially fully on the trunks team. I'm wearing trunks now in the...
All right,
Yeah. I'm not proud of it, but I just figured, fuck it. I just wanted to let you boys know. I'm sure you don't care, but I just today, the last couple of weeks, I've been full trunks at the Bay Club. So.
Oh, at the Bay Club?
Yeah.
Cold, is that colder or warmer than the Big Canyon?
With the cold tub?
Yeah.
They got it humming perfect there. 48 this morning it was.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Yeah. Had a sauna yesterday, boys. Fuck. I came out of there like, usually I feel great after it. This one, like, I felt like I kind of maybe got, you know, fucking punched in the head or something. Does that ever happen to you guys where you're kind of like...
Yeah, for sure.
Well, what does that mean?
A little lightheaded.
You needed it. Probably.
Means I needed it?
You probably fucking sweated out some shit that you needed to get out. I would say. I'm no fucking health nut.
How long do you switch? How long do you stay in there for in a sauna, fella?
Just depends how hot it is, right? One of my buddies that lives up in Cave Creek, just by the Buffalo Chip Rodeo, he's got his humming at like, fuck, it's almost boiling, you know. The
250?
Not 250, but like 210. I can only stand there for about 7 to 8 minutes, and I'll do different rounds, like 2 or 3 rounds where I'll go in the cold and come back in. But if it's just like stock 180 to 200, I can stand there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was 200, and I tried to stay in there for 20 minutes. I tried to do it 3 days a week. I probably only do it 2, but I try to mix in that third one. But, you know, down to the stretch there at the 18-minute mark, I was like, fuck, if I go down here, what old boy in here is going to be able to pick me up and fucking help me?
I love it. I can go in. Fuck, I can, until I feel guilty that I haven't, you know, been part of taking care of the kids at the house. I'll go in 40 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, Joe DeMarco says he stays in there for an hour.
I don't know the benefits though. I think there's a
That's a lot.
There's a thresh line for what, you know, what's benefits and then what's just pure stupidity. And, you know, it's like when you take a dump and you stay on the toilet for a half hour.
Your feet fall asleep. You get up, you almost
your
fall
elbow marks are on your quads.
You almost fall face first. You're like, fuck, feet are asleep. How long was I on there for? Where are the dude wipes?
Yeah, totally. It's kind of like that. I think the
hell did that get
benefit's
there?
probably 20 minutes.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sure everyone's heard enough about my wellness routine here, but I'm officially on the trunks team. I still don't agree with it, but if you can't beat them, join them, Swishy. Swish, last thing on your Chicago before we talk a little puck here. Can you go to the Tavern on Rush for me, bud? Can you get in there and just have one for me? I believe it's reopened a couple years ago. If you have time, I know you got a big time itinerary. I saw the itinerary you put together, National League itinerary. try to slide in there for your buddy Obes and have a one rock.
Yeah, for sure. I will say it's not the same. It's in the lobby
How's the
of
staff?
the Thompson. Staff's decent. Yeah, I've been there probably 2 times over the last 5-ish months. But yeah, we're staying right there, right by right off of Delaware Street in the Gold Coast there, and really stone's throw away from Viagra Triangle. So I can slide in. I actually might go there after this and just kind of prep myself. Get a one rock whiskey.
Yeah.
Maybe a glass of rouge and some lunch. It's still decent. It just, I don't think it thumps as hard as it used to. It's but it's busy. It for sure is. It just got a different kind of feel in there, being in a hotel, and it's just in a different environment, I guess you would say, different vibe.
Fuck ups. I used to love going in there with my suit on, playing the Hawks the next night. Fuck, I used to love it, eh? I used to love it.
There's something about feeling National League. Just anytime you land there and you're going in there for what we call work, but work is off the ice.
Boys are like, "Oh, what are you doing for dinner?" I said, "Fellas, I'll see you at the rink tomorrow." Hey, I'll see you.
This is one city I ain't texting any of you guys.
Boys, you guys enjoy your dinner. I'll probably bump into you, but fellas, we got some news out of the NHL. Obviously we've been very lucky the last couple of years with the Four Nations, where, as Swishy would say, we were boots on the ground, pinned. It was unbelievable experience, and then over in Milan at the Olympics this year. Next year, UBS Arena, Long Island, February 6th. We got a new little all-star format here. Basically, USA, Canada, Sweden, Finland, and another team in the rest of the world. Winner take all, $2 million. Short little games, I think they are. 10-minute games or something like that. But anyways, I think this is a good idea, boys. Anytime you can get a little international flair to it, I think the boys might play a little bit harder. I mean, we're not going to see, Brady and Sam Bennett chucking that center ice, but I think this is a good idea. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and anytime you hang a little carrot, $200,000 carrot over the boys' visors, you're going to see them play hard.
Yeah,
I do like the addition, the 10 young guns, probably a little 2-on-2, 3-on-3, showcase some youth, showcase some skill. That goes way back to when we were rookies, Obes. I remember Loop Dog going in there and maybe getting a Hattie. He might even have got the fucking MVP that year.
Did they give him a car?
Did they give him a car?
I don't know. Did they give him a
Toyota Prius? I just think that's another addition to to what's going to be a fun-filled event. Fella Tour, 100%. But Long Island and Schaefer and good rookie class. I'd like to probably see him play on Team Canada this time instead of the young guns, but we'll see.
You're going to see him play. Oh yeah, if he's too young to play, he can't play on Team Canada? That's a good question.
That's a good question. I would say deservingly, the young guns, if they can make their squad, should have a chance to make the squad. But I don't know what that would do to the young guns game specifically.
Because I was just going to say, you're going to never not see Matthew Schaefer on Team Canada for about the next fucking 15 years or 10 years. So, Swishy, shout out to our boy James Beal. I've already been talking to him about coming in there next year, doing a little Missin Curfew something with him, but I think it's going to be a great weekend. I'm happy for the fans of the Islanders to get to show off their new barn, and I'm excited for this. I can't wait to get there with the boys and catch a buzz.
100%. Be taking the sprinter or the train or whatever way from the city to this game. Obviously, I think
chopping, maybe a helicopter.
If I know you two beauties like I do. Who knows if we even make the fucking game too? By the way, we'll get a line on DraftKings for that. But yeah, it should be cool. Anytime you're playing for your country, right? It's a little bit more pride. I think you hang out with your countrymen, especially for the European guys. And I do love the concept of the rest of the world team. I think that's cool. I think it evens the playing field. I would actually like to see that maybe even the next Four Nations with like a rest of the world team. But we'll see on that front. And I do like the Young Guns game as well. And I think Shafe Daddy will be able to play in both. I think if they do it right, especially him being there on the island, you don't want to sell this guy as much as you can.
Young legs, eh? He can skate all day.
Yeah, of course.
The rest of the world team, so now you got like Draisaitl playing with Pasternak and Nashis. Cooch.
Yep.
Yeah,
you got some of those.
It's going to be a great lineup.
Wow.
Cider.
Yeah.
Yeah, Timmy Stützle.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to have a good squad.
Fuck. Look out for the rest of the world.
And just to touch
in the round robin, it's just 5-minute games.
5-minute games. I did see that, Casey. Thank you.
Yeah, the top two teams advance to a 10-minute final.
That seems a little too short for me. Thank you, Casey. I did read that. 5 minutes, that's like 2 shifts a guy. Fuck, isn't it?
So yeah, but you're going to get him going.
It's like an
balls
overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 5 minutes is too low. I think it should be 10 minutes and then the finals 20 minutes.
Yeah, five's quick.
Five's quick.
Five's quick, but fuck, you got.
If you get hemmed out there, you only get one shift. Fuck.
So 6 teams though. That's still you're still looking at everyone. If everyone plays everyone, it's a fucking 5 minutes.
I guess you got to play how many games? So you get to play 4 games.
So guys just stay in their gear.
Yeah.
Stay in their gear, hang out, have a pint, fucking get back out there.
Fuck, you want to be ready? You want to be ready to go, Swishy, in a 5-minute game, though. You don't want to. You don't want to. If you have a late night in Manhattan and you're coming out for the 5-minute game, it's like, give me a couple smelling salts here. We don't want to.
If you have a late,
when they have a late night, yeah.
When.
Yeah, you're almost like, well, if you have a late night, you're like, can we just play a 3-minute game? Can we just do a shootout? I'm stung.
You're like, do I have to play? Do I have to play? Yeah, McDavid, fella. Yeah, you have to play, fella. Yeah, you do.
And then it looks like for this young guns thing, it's just a skills competition. So like fastest skater, hardest shot, passing, whatever. No game.
That's perfect because that's all these young kids give a fuck about anyways nowadays. That's all they want to do.
Yeah, and none of the older guys want to.
No, they just want full skills.
You know what the sickest skills competition back in the day? I think it was one of the first years they did it. They had the Sedins and I think they had Datsuk and they had the little nets and it was just sauce and pucks across the sheet into the little net. Do you guys remember that? Like it was probably like
I do.
2 pucks wide, and those guys were so butter at just throwing sauce into that net. I thought that was one of the coolest ones.
I mean, both the Sedins had 6 sauce, but Henrik Sedin's sauce. I mean, I used to just watch it in practice. It was fucking so good. It was just like perfect.
Better than Draisaitl sauce, you think, right now? Who has the best sauce in the league?
I'm gonna say fucking. I mean, the play that McDavid and Draisaitl run with that one-timer down low, like that, like that's lethal. Everyone knew what the Twins were going to do, that they were looking for each other, and they could still, even though everyone knew it was coming, they could still make that play.
Yeah, I think of
I'm going to say Sedin.
The perfect sauce pass, Sedin. Yeah, the heel to toe, feathered little biscuit across the ice, lands perfectly soft.
And you know what made the Sedins even more impressive, boys, is they weren't great skaters. They weren't
both
fast.
redheads.
Yeah, they weren't like speedsters though. They just did it with skill, vision, and sauce. And Danny was the shooter, obviously, but Danny was a little quicker than Hank. But Hank would just, his vision was insane. So kudos to the NHL. I like it, boys. Sticking with the National Hockey League, best league in the world. Old Gary Bettman says, Wolf of Wall Street style, basically. I caught his presser. He said in so many words, I ain't fucking leaving. He's 74 years old. My question to you two guys is, and I think Uppy still might work for the league, so we got to be careful here, him and Richardson, but what more does he have to prove? He's made $1 gazillion. He's got the league in arguably the best place if you ask the majority of the people. I may not agree with that to the fullest, but if you're Gary Bettman, boys, what more do you really want to prove? That you just want to stay sharp and keep working, or why not go down to Boca and just put the feet up?
I'm sure he gets enough time off. He's obviously a workaholic. I think we all know that. He in the world of pro sports, I think from commissioner to commissioner, I think they all look up to Gary on what he's done, how long he's been in his spot for, watching the growth of every sport to where it's at. I think to answer your question specifically, I think he wants to ride out this new wave of, all-star game, 4 nations, salary cap going up, guys in the Olympics, where the sport is. I think like he kind of wants to take ownership a little bit, Swizzy, in that and see and kind of get the accolades as we move into this new future of our sport.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. I think he wants to get expansion to 2 or 4 more cities. I think he's got a number in his head of getting Atlanta, either Phoenix back or Houston, and maybe a couple other cities. I think he's really leaning on the fact that he hit such a home run with Vegas, and it was such a I mean, I hate to stroke this guy's wrench a little bit because some things I don't agree with, but the fact that he was the first pro sport to get to Vegas was genius, I thought. Was such a good move. He was ahead of his time in terms of the other leagues. And with the NBA, a lot of times, the NHL is kind of mimicking what they have done. I thought they got in front of that one. And I also think he wants to keep expanding the streaming services with Amazon, Hulu, getting those to a point where, the numbers are really good and the league is in a really good spot. So I think from a streaming aspect and expansion standpoint, those are the 2 biggest things I would think Gary Bruce Bettman is still looking to put another feather in his cap or 2. and then he can ride off into the sunset. So maybe he's got a number in his head. Maybe it's a 5-year plan. What is that? Don't die, Sid.
Don't die.
If we're talking Big Daddy, but yeah, that would be my train of thought.
Look at you. That board meeting room you're in there is really rubbing off on you. You sound like you're fucking working for the league there. Hey, listen, expansion. Great point by Swishy. I can see why Gary's like, all right, listen, I want to bring a few more teams into this league before I leave, and I hope Houston is one of those teams. But I also wonder this, boys. Do you think maybe the owners are like, Gary, you're not going anywhere?
That's exactly. I wanted to say that before we.
You're not going anywhere, Gary. Where do you think you're going, bud?
Like you're not.
Because what if a young guy came in and wanted to maybe, I don't know, change it up a bit?
Yeah, especially the old school guys, like the owners that have been there for a while. They probably look at Gary and say, "Fuck, you're still kicking. You're not in the dirt. Let's fucking continue to build this thing. We can't think of anyone else that takes care of our investment than you. So
we can't think of anyone else that fucks the players more than you, Gary.
Yeah.
So where are you going, buddy?
You're good at it. And fucking, you got thick skin because obviously you can hear it when he gives the cup out numerous times. He gets booed.
Dude, have you guys seen the video of Chelly from back in the day when the lockout?
Yeah, doing the interview.
Yeah. He basically, when Bettman was just in the league. So what does that 94? They lost him out.
I hope
or
he
what?
watches his back.
He's like, I watch. Yeah, he goes, you better be careful.
Yeah.
People come after him. I'm like, fucking Chelly just threatened the commissioner of the NHL that someone's going to fucking whack him. I'm like, imagine saying that nowadays. You would just get thrown in the clink.
Yeah. Unless you were fucking locked out for a full year, you could probably say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Certain guys could.
What do you boys think Gary Bettman makes per year, boys?
25.
I would say it's over 10. Do you have the number?
I mean, it's AI. AI is always right?
So I would say 13.
I think if fucking Roger Goodell's making 60, Gary's making 20.
You're both, if it's the fucking price is right, you both went over. He's making $9.5 million a year.
Yeah.
According to AI.
Yeah.
And
I would say it's maybe.
That's a lot.
There's got to be some performance bonuses in there, I bet.
I mean, we could also Google his career net worth. I mean, it's probably pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a couple hundy minimum.
Yeah, must not be a golfer or a fisherman or anything. Eh? Like when you if I had that much dough,
you never see him on the golf course.
He doesn't tee it, Swish.
Yeah, but as old as you are, and if you're still okay in the head, you got a bunch of people working underneath you, and in the business, you got to make the final calls and things like that. But seeing a 2-week pay stub for $10 million, every 2 weeks, that's tough to give up, man. That makes you feel pretty good.
That's true. Where did they get the energy though? Like I come in the studio here for 3 hours, I'm zapped. Like I fucking hardly make it home. It's like, hey, like, fuck, I gotta get home and watch the hockey game. So Gary, congrats, buddy. That's a lot of dough. And in all seriousness, a lot of people think the league is a very good place, and obviously that has to do with the commish. So boys, continue on with our little intro here. Norris Trophy winner, Zach Werenski. Updog, you said something yesterday when we were in here recording a curfew call about can you win the Norris if you don't make the playoffs? And I got to agree with you, buddy. As much as he had a great year, to me, it's much like the Hart Trophy. If you don't get in, I don't think you should win it. I agree with you on that, Ups.
Yeah. I know that this has been Swishy's boy pushing, I think you've called this Swish for a while. I look at the best defenseman in the league. If it's not going to be offense, which we've talked about this before too, it's definitely not, who's been the best offensive defenseman and gets the most points and goals. If it's overall best defenseman, you need to get, your team to not fold in the last 10 games of the year. Like you're carrying them to make it in the playoffs. And this award is given to legends. If you look at the people that win it, there's some really great names, great hockey players, Hall of Famers in that world. And I just, man, you can't fucking be on a team that loses, 9 of 10 games to not make the playoffs and then get to hoist that Norris Trophy, in my opinion. So I saw that. There's you mentioned Quinn Hughes, 7th in voting.
I just pulled it up. Quinn Hughes was 7th in Norris Trophy voting. I mean, are they watching these games, Swishy? Or Quinn Hughes, when he went to Mini, his fingerprints were all over that team every time they fucking stepped on the ice. And for him to be behind, Lane Hudson Evan Bouchard, Mo Sider. Come on, man.
Yeah,
come on.
That's
man.
a joke.
Come on.
That's completely a joke. Werenski had 81 points, and I honestly think, you know how the writers are. It's recency bias. So they vote right around the end of the regular season. And I think coming off that play he made in the Olympics, when he stripped Nate McKinnon, sent it over to Jack Hughes, ended up winning the gold. I think a lot of the writers were writing that. I think they were riding that high, man. And, you know, only had another month to vote. He had a pretty strong push when he came back. And that ultimately, I think, put him over the top. I mean, if you're looking at the votes, they weren't even close. 113 first-place votes. The next, Cale McCarley had 47. I mean, is this something to look at? Are there more writers that are American? What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean,
that's really lopsided.
Fucking Evan Bouchard had 95 points, eh? How are you?
Yeah, oh, that's crazy.
I mean, if you're gonna give it, if you're like, if you have a vote, and you're like, listen, I don't want to give it to Cale McCarr again because, you know, like if we took a vote, who's the best defenseman in the world? I think if you all 32 GMs would probably say Cale McCarr. If you're gonna go off who had a biggest impact on their team, and then I think you got to give it to Rasmus Dahlin, right? Because of what Buffalo did, winning the Atlantic. He's the captain of their hockey club. The turnaround they had, and Swishy makes a good point. I don't know when the votes went in, and no one was cheering for Columbus harder than me. I love the way they were playing. Olivier gets hurt, but the collapse they had down the stretch of not getting in, they pissed it away. To me, if I had a vote, if I would have leaned towards probably not. I was surprised that Werenski won it.
Yeah, but I don't even know if I see what you're saying with Dahlin, but if you're going to say who had the most impact, I would say Quinn Hughes did.
Fuck, Quinn.
Going to Minnesota, 100% he did because he plays 30 minutes a night. Dahlin is about 23, 24, which he was in playoffs. Quinn Hughes was playing half the fucking game, and he unlocked Faber to be even a better player than he was. So I think, in my humble opinion, he would be the biggest impact on one team.
I agree. And if we had a vote at Missin Curfew, I probably would have voted for Quinn Hughes this year. It would have been between him and Cale McCarr, in my opinion. I mean,
yeah,
I just think the impact that Quinn had when he went to Mini. But hey, congrats to him. Boys, last little thing, or a little intro here.
Hey, Obes, actually, I got something to add to this.
All right, brother.
So in 2023, when Erik Karlsson won the Norris Trophy, the San Jose Sharks were 7th in the Pacific.
I know.
They were 22nd.
100 points, though.
He had 100 points.
He had 101 points. So I guess there is precedent to the voters just kind of ignoring the team record.
I will say this about the Karlsson Norris. I didn't think he should have won the Norris that year either.
No, that was when the talks of like there should be two different awards.
Yeah.
And there really should be, but they still got in 7th, right?
No, they were like dead last in the Pacific.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I watched some of those Sharks games. Karlsson, Swishy. I mean,
played like a forward.
Yeah. It was hilarious to watch him play D-Swish. He did not give a fuck because they were so bad. No. He's like, I want 100 points. And in his defense, boys, if that was me and I was on the bad team, I would be sniffing for 100 too. I didn't think he deserved the Norris just because he put up a hundo, which as a D-man is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, his team was dog shit. But, I mean, I just think if Werenski had 82 points, there was guys closer to him. And, you know what I mean? Like, Karlsson still had 100 points. Werenski was, 19 or 18 points off of that. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But I will say this, if you put Werenski on Edmonton, he has 95 points. Just like Evan.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe more.
Maybe more. Anyways, congrats to him. Last but not least here, boys, our little intro. I was listening to, back to the sauna again. I was in the sauna listening to Pardon My Take, and TJ Oshie was on there. And Updog, I thought about you the year you came back from St. Louis after conference finals and your hand was broke. He broke his hand in his last fucking playoff series against the New York Rangers. Rempe. I guess the big Rempe got him. They got swept. They were done, and he couldn't go on his 1,000th game golf trip, and it was non-refundable. It was him and Karlsson both doing it together, and he couldn't change it around, so he missed out on his 1,000th game golf trip. That is heartbreaking. I almost started crying in the sauna.
I know, dude. In the playoffs, you understand it. Later in the regular season, all you're thinking about before summer vacation is just don't get hurt. But I vividly remember the play. First, Game 7, swish. It's Blues. You might even have been there as a Black Ace. Were you?
Yeah. Yeah, was it
Blues Hawks at home.
Yeah, it was 8th.
First period, fucking Jarlson, I go run him like a donkey. And I fucking pop my thumb right out of the socket, coming back to the bench with the glove off, like looking at Brodziak going, oh my good God, look at my thumb. And then all I said to him was, my golf game this summer is fucked. And then to play, you know, then
that fuck. I might not be able to play the Stanley Cup Final.
No,
You're just like, I won't be able to tee it.
No, I fuck it, boys. They broke it back, and then I taped it that game. X-rays, shattered thumb, and I played another 14 games with it shattered. But but then I came back for the summer at Bonnaroo, had a fucking full cast on. No golf until
I'll tell you what,
mid-July.
That cast at Bonnaroo didn't slow you down very much.
No, it was black. it was black by the time I was done.
You actually made it look pretty cool because you put like bandanas around it and shit. Yeah, it was pretty juicy.
Still could work.
It was actually a good talking piece for you. A couple broads loved it.
Yeah, it was.
They're like, hey, nice one. That looks cool.
It gives me another ammo in the belt.
Yeah, you're like, jump in the golf cart. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to watch fucking
let's go. You want to
My
go?
Morning Jacket.
You want to go see MJ? Jump in the golf cart. Come on, let's go.
But no, I feel for him. That is a trip of a lifetime. That's like, you know, one of us, and shout out to our boy Billy Quinn, who had to miss some of the rounds with the fucked up shoulder.
He still battled.
He still battled, but you know, when you shatter your hand, you got a trip to Augusta or something fucking lined up. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah. By the way, William Quinn's game is dialed, and I guess he just had another fucking lesson with Como there in Dallas at Dallas National, wherever he goes. He said he got his long irons figured out. I mean, Billy Quinn's wedge game, every wedge he hit in Cabo was pin high. That's when you know you're fucking dialed.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I'll hit a good wedge. I'm like, that's good.
Yeah,
I'll get up there. It's 20 yards deep, 20 yards short. I was like, Billy, you should just lay up to a number. If you got a long way in, just lay up to like 100 yards and stuff it in there. But and the last thing about Oshie boys I wanted to talk to you guys about is he was talking about Vegas and how they found their game. And he went back to when they won their cup. You know, they beat Pittsburgh in the second round, and then they beat Tampa in 7 in the conference finals. But he said after they got by Pittsburgh, everyone knew exactly what it took, the way to play. And it's like, he goes, it took all the guessing out of it. Like, Uppy, you play like this. Swishy, you play like that. And he said, we kind of knew then we were going to win. And for a guy who's never been past the second round, I was just kind of like, okay, that makes sense. Like, you know, you got more confidence because you've won, 2 rounds now and you finally beat Pittsburgh and you know kind of exactly what to do. I just thought it was pretty cool to hear him say that.
I think as playoffs go on, and as the success follows it, you start to just, it's natural. Like, team meetings are shorter. We all know the booklets, the coaches hand out at the start of playoff series where it breaks down teams and their tendencies and their plays. And it's almost like a player getting a profile on the other player across the red line that you have to beat. And by that 4th round, everyone knows what's worked. So to Oshie's point, you take the thinking out of it because you're already so dialed in with your group and with your line mates and where you are on the ice and mistakes, how to prevent your mistakes and how to get the best out of you for the next, for the final round. I think it's a perfect point he makes in how dialed in you are with your mind, with your preparation, with your play. It almost just seems like the coach just needs to stand back at that point and just say, guys, fucking go.
Yeah. And just open the door, eh?
Just fucking open the door. Don't take too many men. Don't get all horned up.
Don't get teed up for chirping the refs, eh?
Yeah.
Your coaches love it. Your teammates love it. And if you have a wife, she really loves it. It's called predictability, fellas. And that's what works down the stretch.
Yeah,
you know exactly what you're going to get. You're going to know exactly what you're going to get from your D partner. I know Uppy's going to go F1 hard on the puck, and he's going to get that puck to stop on the yellow. Now we come in with reinforcements, and we establish our cycle game. If me and Obes are playing as defensive partners, I know that he's going to want to reverse play. So it's just predictability, and the further you go along, the more hockey you play, it becomes second nature, and that's what Oshie, I think, is alluding to.
Yeah, that is well said, and I remember when they, I was pulling from that year, right? I wanted to see Ovi get it done. And when they finally slayed the Dragons of the Pens, predictability is a great word because they were off to the races. And I mean, Vegas, that's what Vegas looks like to me. So we'll see how this plays out. But last but not least, boys, I got to do a little plug here. Drops tomorrow. Get a buzz, keep a buzz. Limited time. Go to Sauce Hockey online. Get them while you can. Get a buzz, keep a buzz, fella. That's what it's all about. Updog's got the black one. There's a couple options.
Look at the back, boys.
Yeah.
Check out the back.
Shout out to Swishy. He helped me with the back. He said, Obes, you got to make it a little smaller. So, Swishy, thank you, buddy. I made it a little bit smaller.
Updog, that's a special club to be part of.
Get a buzz.
Limited drop.
Limited drop. So get out there and get them, boys. Hey, Swishy?
Yeah, especially with Canada Day rolling in, the 4th of July, Summer Bender officially here. Get a buzz, keep a buzz. The next OB shirt, I think, is we're going to be hungover, but it's not today. So.
But it ain't going to be today. And for you boys that like the cutoffs, I can't really rock them because I'm, a milk bag and I got a bad tattoo on my shoulder, but we got some nice cutoffs that are going to be nice for the summer. Maybe on the lake, on the boat, get a buzz, keep a buzz. So thank you to Sauce Hockey. Limited time drops Friday. Fellas, check it out. We'll be right back. I'm Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. DraftKings bets, baby. Presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Fellas, we're always looking to help the fellas out here with some good odds. How did your NBA, did it hit?
I missed.
Fuck, you had some good upside on that one, fella.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to just
$50 to win $5,000 or something?
It was Hundy to win $5,000. No, I got 2 out of 6 right. Brunson, more than 25 and a hook, and then Castle, more than 16 points. But Towns went off. I had him under. Wemby had 2 blocks in the first 7 minutes, but he didn't get over 3 and a hook.
Hart had 15 boards. 15 boards Hart had last night in game 1.
Yeah.
15 boards.
Wow.
Fucking kidding me?
So no. I'm going to ride the upside again, though. Damn right.
I just think, boys, and I just want to say it again, boys, DraftKings is live in all 50 states. So whatever state you're in, and the way it works is it'll either put you to the, sports book, the pick six, or the prediction market. But now it's under one app, boom, in all 50 states. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, promo code Curfew Kings, download it. It's clean, it's sexy, it's one app now. Boys, I think some good odds here. Howden at plus 2,500 right now to win the Conn Smythe. He has 11 goals. I'm just thinking he's going to continue to score. He's tied with, I believe, 3 or 4 shorthanded goals, which is the record in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I believe tied with Gretz. But I just think that's good value at DraftKings Sportsbooks, boys. Plus 2,500. He's leading the fucking dance right now in goals. I'm going to tickle that.
Yeah.
I'm going to tickle that.
I love the kid. He's really made a statement. Coming in the playoffs, wasn't playing that great, and then boom. What a piece of a power tool that the Vegas Golden Knights have used in Howden. Like, he gets to the dirty areas. All his goals are scored from in front of the net. He's got a great shot. He skates hard, finishes his checks, and quite frankly, him and Marner, and they're just a good fucking 1-2 punch that they got going.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, 12 goals in the regular season, 58 games.
Yeah.
17 games in the playoffs, 11 goals. So he has a chance to surpass his regular season total and 20-odd games. What do you think the number is he has to get to put himself into that, at least consideration? He's in consideration right now for the Conn Smythe, but is it 13 goals? Are there timely goals? Is it 15? What do you think he needs to get to, boys?
Depends how many games it goes. If it goes 7 and they win, I think he's got to get to 15 tucks.
Yeah. I think maybe 1 overtime goal.
Yeah,
might secure it. One more big goal might get him in the hunt. But Marner doing what he's doing, both sides of the puck. Yeah, Marner's going to have to cool off. He's going to have to.
How many people from Toronto get a vote on the Conn Smythe? A lot of the writers are they from Toronto? Because they may tend not to vote for old Mitchie boy, or you think they want to stick it to the Leafs even more?
I think they're pretty cutthroat. I think they would.
They want to stick it to the Leafs. You think they want to?
I think they want to, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. I just think that's good value, boys. Always gamble responsibly, but fuck, you got to have some skin in the game. And DraftKings live in all 50 states, boys. So moving on here, it is a Kits Eyewear Dish of the Week. Fellas, you're out at the golf course or you're posted up at a patio after a skate. The sun's blasting and you can't see the ball off the tee or even read the menu. You're guessing that both, fellas? That's not perfect. Prescription Sunnies fix that instantly. Promo code Curfew. Buy 1 pair, get your other pair absolutely free. Boys, go online, kits.com, kits.ca, virtually try it on. All you need is your prescription. Boom. Kits Eyewear at your door. Boys, before we roll, Casey, hold on. Updog, there could have been 3 passes from the Vegas Golden Knights. We want to give an honorable mention to Colton Sessions' dish to hurdle on the winner. I do want to break that play down with you guys just on a defensive of what Gostisbehere was doing. But Swishy, as a D-man, I think you would have to agree. This play by Shea Theodore is nasty. Roll it, KC. The way he's walking the line here, little shot, get her to the net. Got to get that puck out, Chatfield. This right here, whoop, backdoor to Howden. I mean, to me, when you're going this way and you can bring it quickly that way and have your head up and hit a guy in full stride for a backdoor tap in, that is a Kit's Eyewear dish of the week. And Swish, I'll start with you because you're a good D-man. That just lateral movement that you can't teach that, Swish. Right here.
Head up. Yeah, head up, fake pumpernickel, fine Howden streaking on the back post. I honestly thought it was a little bit disrespectful late night on Scott Van Pelt. They had Brett Howden come on, and he was talking about, he's like, did you think that was a shot or a pass? I'm like, Shea Theodore.
Yeah.
Of course that's a pass. What do you mean, brother? No, he's not a hockey guy, but head up the whole way. Howden streaking to that backside post. That was an incredible play. And the pumpernickel, I mean, to get the winger coming out to bite like that, and in that moment too, that is high end National League.
Yeah, Walker, he goes on one knee thinking it's a shot because it totally looks like a shot. As a winger, you're just like, I got to get in this lane, but you have to bring him down the wall, especially on his back.
In his defense, Theo shoots that puck 9 out of 10 times from there. But you're right, Ups.
No, I think that's why, Obes, I'd say this is exactly why you're giving it to him, is because of that shimmy, shimmy, shake. And then the fact that,
shimmy, shake.
Like, booyah. To me, though, you really have to just force him down the wall, take away the middle of the ice. Do not get beat, from that danger zone like that, because you push him down on his backhand, then he's fucked.
Yeah. Listen, another honorable mention. We could have gave it to Marner's backhand pass to Wild Bill Carlson. Another breakdown by the Kings, but that was just a nice little backhand dish. So that's our Kit's Eyewear dish of the week. Swishy, sticking with SVP. What a fucking studio that guy has, eh? And not only does he have his own 6th studio, they built it for him in Washington. So he lives there. He doesn't have to go to Bristol.
Come right from the golf course, over there.
And I like his hours. He gets all day off and then comes in there for prime time at, what time does he get on at? 10 Eastern? What time is SVP hit it at?
Yeah, depending on 11? When that last game will finish. Yeah, 11, I would say. Yeah.
You got your whole day.
Yeah.
For guys that have kids, you put your kids down. Then you go to work. Your wife gets your kids in the morning. You sleep in, get up, go fucking work out, rub one out, grab lunch.
Yeah,
it's a nice program.
It's late. It is later though. It's a fucking, some days he's out there overtime game. Fuck, he pops on, still looking fresh, and it's maybe midnight, 12:30 on the East Coast.
Apparently, he just funnels Diet Cokes too. Like he's in the upwards of double digits per day. I know when he was working the PGA. He had his own little suite. It was like a little trailer, obviously, like the big dogs get. And SVP just said that thing was stockpiled. Like Stanford Steve was like, how many those those little shooters of Diet Cokes are like 8 ounces? He's like, how many do you think you're gonna crush? He's like, oh yeah, easily 15. So he's always just funneling Diet Coke. I love that about SVP.
I respect him. I love a good diet. I prefer Diet Pepsi. You know who loves a good Diet Pepsi? Shout out to Pitter, Patty O'Brien. Pitter crushes fucking 6 a night. And then he'll be like, boys, he'll be like, fuck, I was up all night pissing. I'm like, well, you drank 6 Diet Cokes from 10 o'clock, from 9 o'clock to 11. Like, of course you're pissing, Pitter. Like, fuck me. Boys, back to AI. What do you think Scott Van Pelt makes a year, Swishy?
Do you have the number?
Yeah. Think close to Gary Bettman.
I mean, if Chuck Barkley and those guys are making upwards of 25, I would say, well, now 15, he's worth every penny. 15, I would say.
Yeah, it says $7 million on here.
Got to be more than that.
He's a Sportsnet solo anchor of the Midnight Eastern edition. So yeah, it is late.
It's late. Yeah,
You're right.
Fucking late because it's 9 o'clock by the time I'm done watching games.
Yeah, so he's got the old midnight shift.
That number seems a little skewed to me. I don't know, but I know Mike Greenberg's like $5 million at ESPN. He can't wear SVP's jockstrap.
Yeah, I like Greeny. I like Get Up. I'll throw it on. It's just a little too much fucking hoops heavy for me. I love the association this time of year. I've been watching the conference finals and the final, but I can't continue to just listen to people breaking down hoops. I'm like, But I do like Greeny. I think he's good. So, boys, get this guy an ice cold Labatt Blue. This segment is brought to you by Labatt. Brewed for the chirps, the rivalries, and the sacred art of trash talk. Labatt, brewed for the roast. Who wants to dish? I got a few, so you guys go ahead.
I think maybe KC wants to dish one here to one of his boys.
KC?
Is he on there, KC?
KC, fella. What's going on, bud?
Yeah, boys. Fuck. Hurting a little bit, but I did want to dish one to my boy Ehlers. I mean, you guys all saw that video with the audio only in the start of that game. Just awesome. Gave me chills. Just what a cool start to the game. 30 seconds in, the arena's buzzing in Carolina. They're all coming off the tailgate, and they win the faceoff back. They enter the zone, and Ehlers just buries one bottom corner right off the post. You heard the ding from across the street. Just a great goal. And he comes back a couple minutes later and gets his second of the game. At that point, I was buzzing. I couldn't believe it. I was thinking the game is over. And we all saw what happened. Just a fantastic game one. But to Ehlers, the native of Denmark, awesome start to the Stanley Cup Final. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, fuck, he had the place buzzing. We're going to dive into the series after we dish out these ice cold pristine Pilsners or Canadian Pilsners. But Swishy, Updog, you guys want to dish one? What do I got? I got a 5-pack here. I'm dishing.
You can go ahead.
You want me to go, boys?
Yeah, just crack them.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'll fire them away here. I'm dishing out 5 ice cold Canadian Pilsners, a.k.a. pristine Pilsners. Ivan Barbashev, you fucking beauty. Get yourself an ice cold Labatt Blue. I said before the series started, this guy has got to come out and hit everything that fucking moves. Well, he did that. I mean, he ran Stahl in the corner. He ran Miller. He ran Slavin. He ran fucking Gossesbury. I mean, the way he played in that game, if he could physically keep that up, now, fella. Now. Ivan Barbashev, get yourself an ice cold Labatt Blue. That is how you play fucking hockey, Uppy. He goes through guys to put him in the third fucking row, and I love it.
Yeah, I love this. I love the kid. Know him, played with him. Fucking, he had it in his youth. I knew he had it in him, and to be in 4 Stanley Cup Finals playing that hard, it's intangibles that your team needs. If you're missing that, you don't make it this far.
Yeah. So Barbashev, get yourself an ice cold Labatt Blue. Boys, Brayden McNabb, get yourself an ice cold Canadian Pilsner. 3 apples in game 1. And Swishy, I want to go to you on this one because you're a D man like myself. We all know he's big and strong and blocks shots and, has won a Stanley Cup. But what people don't realize, and maybe they do, Swish, but this guy's ability to look off a play and make a pass. Like, he has a lot of patience where he will get it, wait, slide it D to D inside the blue line, the offensive zone. So for me, 3 apples, obviously not the most offensive guy, but Swishy, when it comes to having that patience, McNabb can do that. And to me, that is why he's had such success, because not everyone in the National League has that ability to wait to make the right play.
Yeah, I think he's in that same category of a very unique and dying breed like defenseman. You throw Josh Manson in there too, right? A guy that can instill himself physically, can fight a little bit. You got to be aware when he's on the ice. He can step up and out. If your chin is untucked, he's going to catch it. And then the ability just to hold on to the puck and not force things, not throw shit burgers all over the ice.
Exactly.
McNabb has the ability to use a little bit of poise and make a play, and that's invaluable. And especially at this time of year, like you're doing that in the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, this is his second game, I believe, in the playoffs where he's had 3 assists. Like, you wouldn't think Brayden McNabb's had 2-3 assist games in the playoffs, let alone a Stanley Cup Final. So, yeah, that's a well-deserved Labatt Blue. Hell,
yeah, I guarantee he likes a nice pristine Pilsner. Boys, continuing on here. Look at this, KC, KC does a hell of a job, just for the fellas out there. He does our rundown. I throw it out there, and then he makes it look National League. KC, Mitch Marner, get yourself an ice cold Labatt Blue for your block at the end of game 1. KC thinks he was trying to get out of the way and calls it lucky. KC, you don't think Mitchie boy was trying to get in the way because that baby was labeled and it was going posted in my opinion.
He had 2 skates in midair. That means he's trying to jump out of the way.
I agree.
He was trying to get out of the way of that. He was afraid.
Really?
Well, I'd be afraid too. That fucking guy rips the biscuit.
I thought it was ballsy for him to get in the way of that one.
Yeah, but it's that last shift. Once that went icing with 6 seconds left, I was like, heads up.
As much as I was pumping McNabb's tires, he iced that puck, and I was like, what are you? Just eat that. Hey, Swishy, bring that back and just go in the corner and stop and just keep it in your feet. Do not fucking ice it. God.
Yeah.
They're lucky.
I think Marner is such a reaction play, too, because he's coming off a screen. He's lined up as the left winger there, and he kind of gets, jumbled up a little bit right off the face-off. And it's just such a reaction play. It's like some guys are like getting down and big or like holding their ground there, like guys that love to eat pucks, and skill guys are probably jumping. That was his first reaction. Either way, they don't ask how, fella. he soaked it.
Yeah, listen, Mitchy, get yourself an ice cold Labatt Blue. The boys loved it too. I love the guys come off the bench, go right to Mitch. Fucking love that shit. And listen, no one's tripped him more than me, but I thought he knew what he was doing there, getting in the way. But a couple more, boys, bear with me here. Get yourself an ice cold Labatt Blue. I know for a fact this beauty likes blue lights. John Cooper, Jack Adams, buddy, congratulations. There's been some people in the Missin Curfew mentions being like, oh, Lindy Ruff had a better year and they had more points. I think they had, 6 more points than Coop. Listen, not taking anything away from Lindy Ruff, but what Coop had to deal with when it comes to the obligations and responsibilities to being the head coach of Team Canada going to the Olympics and being the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning with all the injuries. I believe they had 12 guys play defense this year for them. Put all that together, the fact that he hasn't won it, the fact that he's a beauty, always does the right thing. Coop, get yourself a nice cold Labatt Blue uppy. I think the majority of the league is happy for him.
Yeah, and it's a feather in his cap that is well deserved. He's been in the running for years and years. He's had great teams. He's had success with 2 cups. Didn't climb the mountain in the Olympics, but you felt like he gave it everything he had, and I like to see it. I love John Cooper. It's a well deserved title. I think there's so many great coaches, out there and in the mix this year for that nomination. It could have been anybody's, but for Coop, big fan of the pod. We're a big fan of his. Sitting around the tree bar with him is a pretty special feat.
Ever.
And it's about time he got one. It's about time.
Yeah, it's one thing comes to mind for certain. It's a tragically hip son. It's been a long time running, So he's been in the game for a while, and this is his first one. So it's been a long time running for Coop. The tenure he's had in Tampa Bay, and the fact that this is his first Jack Adams, there's probably 6, 7, 8 years in there where he could have won it, maybe even more. It's about fucking time. So congrats to Coop. Hopefully have a stiff tequila one rock. He likes the tequila one rocks, which is pretty nails.
He's not scared of it. And they did a hell of a job. I do like how this NHL surprises these guys. And, Coop does a lot for Coop's Catch. He has a fishing tournament every year in Tampa, boys. And next year I'd like to go out for that weekend for that. Like, I believe they play a home game, and then the next day, he has a fishing for charity. And, he was there cutting the ribbon for Coop's Catch for the new part of the hospital that they put in, and they caught him. He's like, fuck, you got me. And they wheeled in. The Jack Adams trophy's big, eh? Fuck, Coop can hardly fucking do a squat to get it up.
Sick.
Big trophy.
I like the way the NHL's doing that. It's a nice touch.
Yeah. I had conversations with this guy yesterday who was a member at Gosler. Shout out to Justin Whalen is his name. And I'm like, we're going through the guys, and I'm like, Coop? He's like, yeah, I know Coop. Coop poured the cup. Coop had 5 beers in the cup and poured it over my wife's head. I was like, yeah, that probably sounds like him. So last but not least, boys, get this guy an ice cold Labatt Blue. Marcus Foligno won the King Clancy Award for leadership. Listen, I love everything about this guy's game. He is a dying breed. And for him to get this award, I could see in Mini just from watching them and seeing their stuff on social that they had a really close-knit group, and obviously he was a big part of it. So Marcus Foligno, who I absolutely love, who's been good to Missin Curfew, get yourself a nice cold Labatt Blue. I take that guy on my team any day of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Guy's guy.
Yeah. Fuck all that. I'm thirsty. All that beer being dished around. I'm thirsty.
Yeah, it's always a 6-pack.
Should we have one here? Moving on, boys. Stanley Cup Final. Game 1. Vegas takes it. KC, my man, come on in here. Oh, how quickly a series and the Stanley Cup playoffs can change. Yeah, you guys were 12-1, and everyone thought you were marching to the cup, and Vegas comes in and steals game 1, fella. How are the Caniacs feeling?
Yeah, man, it was great game. We all watched. Fantastic game, back and forth, high speed. I'm worried. I think a lot of Canes fans are worried. Uppy brought up a stat the other day. The winner of game 1, it's like above 70% of the time wins the series. So to drop one at home, game 1 with the great vibes that started out the game is really tough. But we need the first line to buzz tonight. We need Freddie to stop everything that comes his way, and we need to win one here at home. We need to go to Vegas. The boys, we're going to the fellow tour there. We need to be 1-1 there.
Do we?
But I still have faith, and I I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not worried, but I got faith. And I think that the Canes, they're a great bounce back team. They haven't lost back-to-back games since January. So I think Rod's got them dialed in, and I think they're going to come out hard tonight.
Yeah, and I will say this. Obviously, we all know in the Eastern Conference Final, they get steamrolled in Game 1. They were rusty. It didn't feel like that in the Game 1 of the final. Like, they came out like they do. I'm like, when Ehlers made it when it was 2-0, 2 breakaways too, right? I'm like, Vegas gave up 3 breakaways in the first period. I was losing my mind. But then when the game settled in, boys, in the second and third, and Vegas started playing their game, they made the Hurricanes. And we talk about John Cooper, our last segment. Coop always told me I don't read too much into a Game 1. I'm like, wow, I used to as a player. Game 1 meant a lot to me. I don't know why. So it is only one game, but Ops, we'll start with you and then go to Swishy. But like the way when Vegas settled in there in the second, third period, couple posts, could have been fucking 7-4. And I just thought the way they made Carolina look for the first time all playoffs, they kind of showed some holes in their game.
Yeah, it's the way that they played against Colorado. It's the way that they make teams be uncomfortable. Like their pressure and the way that they maintain sort of the neutral zone lock and take away players' speed. They're hard on offensive players who usually have a little bit more time. Their D are big. They turned the tide in that game, making Carolina just uncomfortable, Swishy. Like, it's so hard to play the game when these guys are always on you. The D don't have any time. And the man-on-man, Vegas is a big team. Vegas is a big controlling team when they get the puck in the O-zone. And man-on-man, fucking good luck. Like, good luck fucking chasing these guys around when they have the puck and they have offense and they have guys that have a knack for fucking finding the soft areas to shoot and score. Example, Barbashev's goal that got the fucking Golden Knights back rolling. It's a hard way to play. It's almost like, now you got Brindy, who hasn't had to change so much of his Chindamore, who hasn't had to change so much of their structure. He's going to be on the board going, okay, fuck, if we get into this again, if Vegas starts to control the game the way they did in the second half of that game, we might have to readjust. And Carolina hasn't had to think like that. But it was what happened against Colorado, and they didn't readjust, and they got fucking smothered.
Yeah, it almost felt like Carolina, and maybe even their building, thought they won that game in the first 20 minutes.
Fuck, I thought they did for a second too.
You know what I mean? That was kind of how I was adding it up after the match, just decompressing. And because down the stretch, I mean, Vegas goes in after 20, they're down 2, and come out, and throughout the whole rest of the game, I just thought they made more plays. Like, like you said, Obes, it could have been 7-4. It could have been 8-4, maybe even 10-4. I just thought at that time, after the first 20 minutes, Vegas went back to their dressing room and like a veteran group just kind of exhaled, came back out, and we're like, well, we're not going to win this game in the next 5 minutes, but if we do X, Y, and Z and keep investing into our structure and our game, we'll be all right here. Just look like a very confident group. And like you said, they just came on execute. I just thought they made, in simplest terms and layman's terms, they just made more plays. They put themselves in better chances to score, and they got rewarded for it.
It's exactly what I wrote down, Swishy. I've been dying for a team to make plays against the fucking Carolina Hurricanes. Like, they're just fucking up-dog horny, just flying around. I'm like, if you can make plays and beat these guys, they're chasing. Like, they're just creating chaos on the defensive side of the puck, and Ottawa couldn't do it. Philly couldn't do it. Habs couldn't do it. And after the first period, I'm like, fuck, maybe Vegas can't do this either. But once Vegas started making plays, I mean, you look at the Marner to Wild Bill goal, Swishy, you're a D-man. You can't leave the front of the fucking net to go chase there. I don't care, like, man-on-man or not. Like, where are you going? Leave Wild Bill all alone, Marner behind the back pass. And on the winner, Gostisbehere, who's been unbelievable, Swishy. But when you're chasing Hurdle up the wall and he's got a step on you, just stop and switch. Hey, you go. Yeah. Like, don't, as a D-man, as soon as I chase you up the wall, up dog, and you got 2 steps to the middle, I'm fucked. Did it take a great pass by Sissons? It took an NHL pass. But it's the NHL and it's the Stanley Cup Final. Boom. I just think Rod the Bod has got to maybe make some adjustments that we can't always live and die by fucking man-on-man chasing these guys, because as this series goes on, I think it's going to play more and more into Vegas' hand, and they got the skill to make the plays. Yeah. And that's kind of what I noticed.
But when you play man-on-man like that, there's no insulation to the middle of the ice.
I know. So it's a free-for-all.
You lose your check off the wall. It's not rocket science, but you give up a grade A opportunity every time because there's no insulation. And you know what, like when you're playing man on man, especially around the net as a defenseman and your toe caps get turned around the other way, you get so fixated on that one guy, even centerman too, where your back can be turned to the wrong side of the ice where it's like, well, why aren't we facing the play and just sorting this out and layering our defense? That's where I just disagree with man on man. I always have. I think it's dumb.
It's been driving me nuts all playoffs watching these Canes just buzzing around. I'm like, someone make a play. Like, they got two guys coming at you. But I will say this just on the aspect of, and John Tortorella did a great job. I think it was the first or second TV timeout, the first period, saying no soft east to west passes. You cannot, just outside the Canes' blue lines, try to make a hope play across because their transition is bing, one pass, gone. Continue to put pucks in behind them, make their D turn, and let Barbashev unleash the fucking dog and get in there. So, KC, I'm going to disagree with you. I hope by the time we touch down in Vegas, it is 3-0. It is 3-0 Golden Knights, and maybe they win the cup there. And maybe we just jump on the ice and see if we can, go hang out with Ikes. How would you feel about that, KC?
I mean, as a hockey guy, that'd be pretty damn cool. But I'd love for it to be the opposite. I'd love to maybe fly out to Raleigh for Game 7 and do that there.
Yeah, you know what?
Drink over on the bod, but
in all
man, am I worried? My lady's like, "Oh, it's fine. It's just one game." I'm like, "You don't get it. One game in the final. Actually, at home in Game 1." I was like, "It's over. I think it's fucking over."
If the mug is in the building for Game 4 with a chance for them to win, and they do win. My one goal for that night is to steal Phil Picard's white gloves. And I'm taking those right to the Rhino. Fuck it.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. If I'm missing the flight home if they win that.
They're not going to come back white if you take those to the Rhino. They're going to have.
What I'm thinking.
They're going to have glitter all over them. They're going to have spray tan. Yeah, you're in one there, bud.
Oh, that's funny. And just lastly, Vegas' size. I thought their size took that game over. And as this series goes on, I think their size is going to, which up dog, it brings it, makes me feel good that still size and physicality does matter in this game. But in all honesty, KC, I have Vegas. Everyone knows that. I do think Carolina probably gets it done tonight because I think it's their season on the line. So last but not least, before we get to our boy Steve Levy, the rumor mill here at Missin Curfew. Boys, there's a rumor that next July 1st, Russia, USA, Moscow, and they're calling it a friendly. I've been dying to get to Moscow, boys. I've been dying to get to Moscow. I know it's Canada Day, but if it's July 1, USA, Russia, in Moscow, fella tour, let's go. But what do you think of this? You think this is going to happen?
It's so great. I think it's so great. And the fact that they called it a friendly, let's put all this stuff aside. Russia deserves a chance to be back in international hockey, so I'm glad that that's we're putting that era to bed. And old Putin be sitting center ice.
Just Putin in the bumper sitting center ice.
Yeah, they'll have their just entourage. The barn will be electric. You're going to see epic hockey. Just brings you back to like the glory days.
Brings you back to
miracle. Let's fucking go.
Brings you back to Rocky Balboa and Rocky 4, Swishy?
Yeah.
East versus West.
God.
Let's go.
Yeah. If there's two world leaders that can make this happen, bridge it between hockey, it's Vladimir Putin in the bumper.
Yeah.
So I'm all in. Let's plan it.
That'll be great for hockey.
I hope it's true.
Great for hockey.
Got to hit up the Flight King. LAX right to Moscow? Yeah, there'll be an LAX right to Moscow bird, right?
Should we stop over in Japan first? Go the other way?
Oh, you want to backdoor it?
Backdoor? Come in backdoor.
I don't know. How do you get there from here? Fuck. You
want to
go the other? You want to go the other way?
Yeah, let's go the other way. Stop in Thailand for a bit.
Australia? You want to go?
It's the World Fella Tour.
I don't know if we can go backwards.
Who can sponsor that for us? We're going on a world tour. We're going to stop in every continent on the way to Moscow.
Kits Eyewear. Roger, we need you, fella. Yeah. So, listen, I hope it happens in all seriousness. I think a USA-Russia game would be unbelievable. And I want Canada-USA. I'll go down to best of 5, but I want a series. I want to see it. Let's go. So, boys, friend of the show, all-time good guy, doing great stuff with ESPN. Our boy, Steve Levy, coming at you next on Missin Curfew. Fellas, welcome back to Missin Curfew. Up dog, swishy swish, friend of the show, good guy. Of course, he's looking fresh, eh?
Oh,
Stanley
fresh
Cup
cut.
Final.
Yeah.
His hair's always perfect. That's one thing I love about Leaves. His hair's always looking sharp.
If you had hair like that, it'd look sharp too.
Yeah, it
It
would.
just has to.
It would. So, Steve Levy, Leaves, thanks, buddy. We love what you're doing for hockey at ESPN, buddy. It's been a lot of fun watching you and the boys snapping around this postseason.
Well, thank you for having me on. And, when you're sitting next to PK a lot, you got to be very careful how you look, right? His appearance is constantly judged. It's actually worked as like a buffer because nobody gives a crap about anything I say because they're so focused on PK's pants, It's wild.
Yeah.
Takes me off the hook.
Yeah, he's taking some heat, and I got to give him credit. He's got some thick skin. He took it. He knows he looks good. Or in his mind, he knows he looks good. Eh, Leaves?
He's a good sport, right?
Yeah.
He probably doesn't get enough credit, right? We tease him. He's sitting next to Mass with all the cups, and PK's never won it. We don't let him touch it and that kind of thing. Like, he takes a lot of good-natured ribbing, and he takes it well. He's a good sport.
Yeah, Leaves, well, thanks, buddy. We know it's game day for you. We appreciate you taking the time, my man. I've been wanting to get you on. I thought no better time than before the final. Before we talk hockey, let's talk some hoops, buddy. Your Knickerbockers are in the final. I saw you at the game with your son, buddy.
My shirt, yeah.
Look at that. I mean, the MSG's rocking. You got to be as excited for the Stanley Cup Final. You got to be just as excited for the NBA Final.
So I was thinking about this the other day. I was going to put out a tweet on X, and I just didn't. It felt self-serving or whatever. But I'm spoiled having grown up in the New York metropolitan area. I think I take Madison Square Garden for sort of granted. I joked I was conceived in that building by my parents. I grew up going to that place. I remember the first Ranger game and Knick game, and so for people, and probably a lot of people, big sports fans around the country who've never been inside of Madison Square Garden. And the other really weird thing about it, the most famous arena in all the sports and all that, is it's better for a Knicks game than a Rangers game. I can't really explain it. I don't know why. The ceiling is the same. The lighting is different. It's special. But there's something about basketball, even college hoops. The Big East tournament was played there forever. St. John's plays their big home games there. But there is something special about a big Knick game at Madison Square Garden. And it's obviously been a really, really long time. So I'm pumped. And the schedule breaks great because they're going to play opposite nights of the Stanley Cup. So
I'll tell you what, it's nice that they have those bright lights at MSG, Leaves, because some nights I was a little had some cobwebs in there, and then when those lights come on, I knew it was showtime.
Yeah, and you get all the celebrities that come out and all the models. They're still talking about Carol Alt. This is probably before even you guys. I'm much older, but Carol Alt was dating Ron Greshner, and she would sit behind the visiting team's goal, and the crowd would go wild, and during warm-ups and all that, and Tugay always had a supermodel, I think Kim Alexis or something like that. So in those times, the Garden was the place to be, and it is again. Definitely for basketball. Obviously, the Rangers got to try to figure this thing out too.
Stevie, just to continue on that, what is the difference between walking up that ramp and up through the stairs for MSG for a basketball? The difference in fans, like Ranger fans to Knicks fans. I know the Knicks had to wait so long for this, but walking into a finals, what do you expect MSG, that crowd to be like?
Funny, when you say walking into the Garden, I think about walking up that ramp, and you guys have experienced that.
Us too.
And the smell of the circus, by the way, is not always good. That could be a real negative there. It's funny because when I sort of cut my teeth in the business before ESPN, I was at MSG Network, and we had to walk up that, and it was right below, a floor below the ice, is where the MSG Network studios were a long, long time ago. So it's a different crowd. That Knick VIP crowd, you're sort of looking to see. And again, when you guys saw, they were very nice enough to put me and my kid on there. We were not sitting on the court. We were there for warm-ups. We got down there for warm-ups, but we're 20 rows up, sort of with the real people, I guess. But it's a well-heeled crowd. I mean, the prices are astronomical on the secondary market, and they're saying, you could go to every game in San Antonio and airfare and hotel and meals and add it all up, and it wouldn't cost the same as one game at the Garden for this NBA final coming up. So it's special, and really, and again, you guys know I'm a hockey guy, and I've done football and all that stuff, but the biggest privilege in all of sports and certainly in sports media for a long time, was sitting courtside at an NBA game, right? There's no glass. I mean, you can touch the players. They fall on you like there's no separation. You hear every word. Any chance anyone has to get to an NBA game on the court, even if it's a preseason game, you see how physical the game itself is. Nobody thinks of basketball as a contact sport, certainly not in comparison to hockey. But to hear the verbiage, the exchanges with the officials, the coaches, it's just the best. And so I'm really a big NBA. I love all sports, but I really love the NBA, especially in the playoffs and now with the Knicks. It's going to be great.
Leaves at Swish. I'm a big NBA guy myself. I love the association. Anytime you're bringing a tweezers to a game because you might get a splinter and you're sitting on the wood, that's a good day. So I wanted to ask you, though, if the Yankees are in the World Series and the Knicks are in the finals, who attracts a bigger crowd? What creates more buzz in the city? Does it still lean Knicks over the Yankees even?
I think it's Knicks because of how infrequently it's happened. I think they've won 2 championships. I mean, that's it. Yeah. 70. I think 72 was the 1972. I think that's the last time. So, you think about how long it's been for the Rangers and that 94 run that Mess was on. People forget the Knicks went to Game 7 of the NBA Finals too. Imagine that, right? Every other night in that building, championship round, 7 games. And the Knicks wound up losing to the Rockets and John Starks. I love him. I think he was 1 for 18 shooting or something crazy like that. And he still hasn't lived that down. They love him in New York for everything he gave, but Game 7 championship, I think he went 1 for 18 from the floor. That's hard to overcome. So, but it's a special place.
That's hard to overcome in New York City too. Yeah. They're not going to forget about that one. As much as I love John Starks, hey, you guys would have had a couple more if it wasn't for MJ in the '90s. Leaves. I mean, MJ came into MSG and just. He would just dominate.
So that was, really, that was my first television job, and I was at WCBS Channel 2 in New York, and I got to cover the Eastern Conference Championships. And people always ask me this, and maybe you guys have an opinion on it. Probably not old enough to have played in Chicago Stadium, the old place. Were you? Right, you guys.
No.
So, okay, that's the loudest building I've ever been in, and it was Knicks at Bulls. MJ and Ewing and those great, and it seemed like every year the Knicks had to go through the Bulls and they could never get through them. But that Chicago Stadium, we were sitting on the court, the media back in the day. Like nowadays, very few media sit on the court now because those seats are so expensive, right? But back in those days, they had the media along the court. We were along the baseline. Man, I would walk out of that building with a splitting headache. It was by far the loudest arena I've ever been in for any sporting event. And man, that introduction with the video, and now your Chicago Bulls, right?
That's
it was just
so good.
All-time epic, really special time.
Yeah, I still watch The Last Dance. Anytime there's nothing, I'll throw on The Last Dance. But Leaves, let's talk some hockey, my man. You and Mess and PK have been doing TJ Oshie, been doing a great job. Eric Johnson, fun to watch. But one of the things about your guys' job is in between when the game's going on, you get to watch hockey. And when I think of Mark Messier, that's the guy at the top, maybe Gretz and then Mess, of a guy who I'd want to watch playoff hockey with. So what's it like sitting there, watching playoff hockey with Mr. Game 7 there, Mark Messier?
I wish he could say on TV what he says when he's not on TV. That's it, right? You can imagine, right?
I bet.
So, look, listen, Mess is calculated, right? He knows the weight of his words, right? I think he feels like he has to be careful, especially when he's being critical, and he obviously has a critical eye. And the guy can't be wrong ever. He's Mark Messier, right? Yeah. So his opinion is probably close to fact. And but I know he wants to say more, but I really think he understands, like I said, the weight. And Gretz is the same thing. The weight of their words, it means so much to the hockey community. So, yeah, the Mess you don't see on TV, if we could use half of those things. I get him going on the no trade movement, right? I think the Devils had the most players with the most no trade. And he says to this day, Mess says to this day, and I can say this on the air because he'd be okay with this. He'd said in his lifetime, he would give no trade movements to 2 players in his lifetime, Gretz and Brian Leach. And those are the only 2 players. So you can imagine when the Devils have 18 guys who have no trade movement, right? What are we doing there? So it's that kind of stuff. He also a lot of eye rolling on some ticky tack, penalties, a stick on the hands. You knock the stick out of the guy's hands. Are we really calling that in the Stanley Cup playoffs and those kinds of things? So it's a treat. I do have to pinch myself every once in a while and remember, hey, I'm a colleague. But there's a part of me that I'll go home and I'll call my buddies and say, hey, I'm sitting next to Mess watching these games, and he said this and he said that. So that's still cool for me.
Hey, boys, I knew Mess would be complaining about the refs too. Not a boy, Mess. Never changed. Yeah. Never changed, Mess. Never changed, Mess.
Hey, just a little bit about Mess too, Stevie. It's only fitting that his brand Game 7, it happened to fall, I think, last round. You guys covered Game 7. It just fell right into Mess's lap, talking about experiences of Game 7, those big moments, the two biggest words in hockey or in sports for that matter. Does he bring you in any free swag? Because I still rock that hat I got at the hockey game here today.
No, he's generous with that stuff, man. And it's not just me, like the whole crew. If you look behind the camera, the cameraman, the audio guys, they all wearing Game 7 stuff, hats and T-shirts. And, again, if people don't know, the Game 7 applies, not just to hockey. They got to deal with the NBA too, maybe Major League Baseball. And I think they're trying to get closer to the NFL because Mess's point is, hey, Super Bowl might as well be a Game 7. And that makes sense, obviously. But he's hit it. He's got the patches on the Rangers sweater. First ever Ranger sponsor, home and away, the helmets. That must have cost a pretty penny, too, although they're not getting any playoff exposure recently with the Rangers. But listen, the league owes us a 7-game series here, right?
For sure.
These conference finals, like they didn't materialize, and at no fault of anybody. Maybe it's sheer dominance by Vegas, by Carolina, because they're great teams, and that's fine. But I usually like a little more drama, a little more theater in my Stanley Cup playoffs, and here's hoping we get that in the Cup final here.
Leaves as the official voice of the Bahamas Bowl. Let's just call a spade first off. But do you enjoy? I wanted to ask you: do you enjoy the panel work, or do you enjoy more of the play-by-play?
Yeah, good question.
When you're calling hockey, because you're great at both. But
that's very kind.
What do you enjoy more?
Honestly, I appreciate you bringing that up. I'm in the rare spot where I get to do both.
Yep.
And I really like the mix. It's really a cool mix. And honestly, even after all these years, I feel like going to the games and doing the play-by-play, it gives me more credibility for anything I say in the studio, right? And, I got out for a couple of playoff games, and I'm able to impart that knowledge. I just had this conversation with John Cooper at a playoff game or Torch in Vegas, and I'm able to use that in the studio. And I also think it's helpful, when I'm around the guys morning skate, in and out of the room, like they see me and that I'm available, I'm accountable. And I've joked about that. It's real easy to, take pot shots and try to be witty and clever when you're sitting in a studio far, far away in Bristol, Connecticut, wearing makeup. And it's different when you got to be facing these guys face to face, and these guys are walking past you in the hallway. So that's part of the accountability. And, I've been really lucky in my time at ESPN to have gone on the road and done both the mix of the studio and the play-by-play. The travel gets a little old. Like, I'm getting old. We got to connect everywhere out of Hartford and lugging bags around. And so the studio's cushy, man. Studio's nice. You walk in, everything's right there. It's perfect, right? But the road has its travel challenges and Ubers and hotels and all. I'm not complaining, but compared to the studio, it's definitely different. But there is nothing like being in the building tonight when that national anthem plays and that Carolina crowd and they roar with the siren. So I really love. The long answer is I love it both. I love it all. I'm fortunate to be able to do both, and I'm hoping they keep letting me do both. So it's been great.
Yeah, that was a great question, Swishy, because I was wondering the same thing. And Leaves, you're great at both of them. Let's talk about our old buddy John Tortorella. First of all, I would have liked to play for this calm, cool, and collective John Tortorella, Leaves. I'll tell you, in Tampa, he wasn't like this. He was fucking losing his mind all the time. But kind of a two-parter for you. How happy are you that he's gone in there and had success? And B, if they do get it done, do you think you're getting an invite to his cup party or what?
Boy, his list would be long, right? I'd send him a text and he'd reply right back. He's pretty good about that, and I'll take that as, he hasn't blocked me on his phone. I think that's a positive. He's a great dude. I think he's probably the most misunderstood person in hockey, which is quite a statement in itself. If you just know him for the 15-second clips post-game, the rants with the now deceased Larry Brooks, the New York Post, then you don't know anything about the man. And in fact, the night that Larry passed away, for people who don't know, a longtime Rangers reporter for the New York Post, beat reporter, everything. And they butted heads when Torch was in New York. Torch was actually on the air the night that Larry had passed away, or the day after. And people thought we did that on purpose. That was a coincidence. That was scheduled all along. And Torch was really broken up. He was really emotional. And all these years, I know he kept in contact with Larry and spoke with the family, Larry's kids. He's really a warm, emotional guy. He's kind of warm and fuzzy. And again, I don't know him back when you knew him back in the day when you played for him, but he's all about family, always asking about my kids, loves animals, incredibly patriotic as well. The military, he's all in on that. And we don't root for teams, right? I mean, I don't root for teams, but I root for people. I don't care what color sweater, what room they're in or behind what bench. I root for good people. And so, yeah, and I like Rod Brindamore too. But I'll be rooting for Torch. Again, it was fun getting to work with him. And he's so good on TV too. I'm not sure he thought he'd get this chance, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he thought he'd get another crack at this. And so and by the way, no matter what happens in the final, I'm not sure he's done. I think he loves it. I think it's his calling. And I think if his wife will let him keep coaching, he'll be back next year too. So
that's well said. Stevie, I was lucky enough in 2002 to go see the Detroit Red Wings face off against the Carolina Hurricanes back in the Stanley Cup Final. It was amazing. Scotty Bowman and Yzerman and all the boys. What is that city like right now? They've obviously ran into a buzzsaw the last few years with those Florida teams in the Eastern Conference Final, but have you felt like that electric vibe, those Caniac vibe? And what do you expect in that building tonight? The minute you just said the minute the anthem starts, but that building absolutely gets rocking. Can you feel the energy there in the city?
So it's a great question. I'm glad you asked because the answer is no. I really can't. And that'll change tonight. Once we drive through the parking lot with the tailgating going on and the barbecue and all that stuff. But no, and I was surprised. We landed at Raleigh-Durham Airport yesterday. No signage, no fanfare. Again, it's a very spread out area. It's not like downtown Montreal. It's just not, right? And what is, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So in these suburban areas where you're really spread out, you don't get that feeling until you drive through the parking lot and get in the building. And in this era of there's no home ice advantage anymore. In the Stanley Cup playoffs so far, I checked on this number. In the Stanley Cup playoffs so far this postseason, the road team has won 4 more games than the home team.
It's nuts.
Right? And back in the day, man, it meant something. You go into some of those buildings. And now it is virtually meaningless. Coin flip, even the road team has a slight advantage. However, I think Carolina is one of the few places where the home team still has an edge. Maybe they're 6-2 this postseason, something like that at home. So that crowd is crazy. That 2002 series you mentioned, the 06 when they won, among the loudest hockey buildings. I just told you, Chicago Stadium was the loudest building I've been in. But in terms of a hockey building, I would say Carolina's building is as loud as any NHL arena I've ever been in. So, again, while I don't feel the buzz or I haven't yet being around town, I know it'll be crazy in there tonight. And it's weird, man, because it feels like Carolina's playing for the Cup every year, right? Because they're always good. They're regular season good. And for whatever reason, have not been able to get this far, for some 20 years now. And so we'll see. But they do jump on you. I don't get in the whole betting gambling thing, but, Carolina to score first and weathering the storm that first 10 minutes, and that's real. And Vegas is going to have to adjust to that tonight, I think.
Leaves, I wanted to ask you because I saw you retweeted it, and I thought it was an incredible video yesterday thrown out by the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm not a true sucker for the promo videos generally, I think CBC in the past with Hockey Night in Canada has done a really good job. But that promo that the Carolina Hurricanes cut with Jim Valvano, oh man, that brought a tear to my chin, brother. That was incredible. I saw you retweeted it, so I wanted to ask you about that. That got me fired up to run through a wall for sure.
Well, he just, so Jimmy V means so much to the ESPN family, right? That's, the ESPYs were totally based on Jim Valvano and his famous speech many years before Stuart Scott's very famous speech. But the Jimmy V Foundation is so near and dear to ESPN's heart, and he always felt like a part of the family. I never got to meet him back in the day, but I've just heard so many stories. I got to work with Jimmy's brother, Bob. Bob Valvano did a lot of ESPN radio stuff. And just the Valvano name is so in line with everything that ESPN wants to be, sort of on and off the air. And so it's cool. And of course, that college basketball story and Jimmy V, I urge anybody, go Google, look up the video. Jimmy V running around the court like a lunatic. That game-winning shot, they still argue, was that a pass or was that an air ball? That's for other people to decide, but whatever. And it just gives hope, right? It's the great upset, the great underdog. And, it has to touch you. If you're a fan old enough and you get it, and obviously you're not old enough, but I am, and I remember it. And the video will still give you chills regardless of your age.
Leaves, I want to talk to you about, arguably maybe the best U.S. player right now, Jack Eichel. Obviously went over to Milan. They won gold. He was a big reason of that. The way Ike's played in the West Conference Finals, I mean, I was just like, he single-handedly shut down McKinnon, which is very hard to do, as we all know. But I got Vegas in the series, and one of my reasons is, Leaves, because of Jack Eichel and his 200-foot game. And if I had one thing to say to him, Ikesy, shoot the puck a bit more. But what are your thoughts as a guy who loves USA hockey? Like, Jack Eichel is a complete player.
Funny, like we did that all during the last series. Shoot the puck, Jack. Right? Do we think that Jack Eichel doesn't know to shoot the puck? Like he's probably been told that his entire career, right?
Yeah, sure.
He's unselfish. He's an incredible passer. But yeah, I think there's an advantage there. I think because the other team expects him to pass. So he probably could catch a goalie or two by surprise if he shoots the puck some more. So, and it was funny because the night we went after him a little bit, we showed all this video on the power play, him on the half wall and a perfect shooting lane, and he elects to pass it off, and Mess and PK are circling and arrows and breaking it down. And the next period, Jack did score. He shot it and scored.
Yeah.
It was a major goal. And even he said, look, it's been forever since I scored a goal. So, but I think you're right. He might be the single biggest key to the series. And, I don't think Jordan Stahl can shut him down as good as Stahl has been. He was, the Suzuki matchup of last round, that's not the same thing, right? Clearly.
Yes.
And so that'll be one of the things. We talked about home ice. That's going to be one of the matchup things. I think Brendan Moore wants that matchup. I think. Let's see how that shakes out. But this is a different animal. Listen, Carolina has not seen anything like Las Vegas. Let's be honest. They earned their road. They earned their path by having the number one seed in the East. You should get to play the weakest teams along the way. And here comes Vegas. So, and for Eichel, for me, he's going to win the Selke one day too. Hall of Fame type player. He's already won the cup. And he, you know what? He gets the game too. He's media friendly. Also, he knows we need him. He's a face. He's a name. He's a voice. And he continues to star on the ice. He's had a great postseason. And I bet he takes a few more shots tonight too.
Stevie, there's no question that the two teams left are the big boy teams in both conferences, but built on size and speed, and they've got great goaltending. But it's not so flashy as the McDavids in the finals that we've had before the last couple of years. What do you expect, and we just talked about Vegas and Eichel, but what do you expect maybe the difference to be in this series to gain an edge on each other? Is it Stankoven and Taylor Hall on the Hurricane side, or what do you see being the difference between these two teams?
I'll give you one. How about Barbashev running into Keandre Miller?
Yeah, every fucking shift.
How about that? Weeksy had a great line. I want to give him credit. I think he called Barbashev a vending machine. Right? Isn't that? I mean, like that's his
machine back in the day.
right?
Yeah.
Right? And a cigarette machine or something like that. He said it's, no arms, just a giant torso, right? Powerful. And for all the talk of Carolina's forecheck, especially here on home ice, I think Vegas can play that game too. And they're going to get on the Carolina defense. And it's not just Keandre, who, by the way, is playing very well. Has maybe turned his whole career around. Like I always thought he was a good player. Maybe he's better than being a good player. But again, this Carolina defense has not faced this group of forwards, right? Dowd will come at you hard. Here comes Keegan Colasar, that Cole Smith. I mentioned Barbashev. Like they got some big bodies who can skate. And let's see if they cause some turnovers from the Carolina defense. So I think that's one of the sort of, under the radar kind of things to watch for in the game tonight.
Leaves my last one. I'm sure we'll see PK in a crop top or something where who knows. But what I really
top, that'd be great.
That would be your little belly button showing out. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Leaves. Some of my favorite work you've done is the This Is Sports Center commercials.
Yeah.
Can we talk to the producers and roll back that one where it's Jack Eichel and Jonathan Marchessault rolling out the Stanley Cup, trying to fit it in the dishwasher, you being there? I would love to see that in between periods one of these nights.
I swear to God, I had that conversation. Emily Kaplan and I were talking about that this morning, those commercials. Yeah. And I don't know if because Marchessault is not on the team anymore, would they not run that back? When we hang up, I'll call the producers and see if they can sprinkle it in. There's also one about, I think I'm in the penalty box with those guys too. And it's like, what are you in for? And they say hooking and they say holding. And they're like, well, what are you in for? And I said, I hit reply all to a company email, and which is a really good line. And obviously I didn't come up with it because I'm not that funny. Like we've got great writers. Yeah. But listen, we've gotten so much attention for the This Is Sports Center campaign, much more than anything I've actually done on Sports Center. People love those spots, and the hockey spots especially have been really good.
No, those are legendary leaves. My favorite one, I think it's SVP and the late Stuart Scott when Arnold Palmer goes to the lemonade iced tea, and SVP's like, that was awesome.
Yeah, so good. And the most expensive one was a hockey one. We had Ovi. It's called The Russian Spy, which we didn't realize how timely that would be. But we had to create sort of a conference room outside on the basketball court and then have the machine that lifts Ovechkin through the roof, through the fake roof kind of thing. That was part of the spoof. And we had a body double come in for Ovi and full uniform, pads, looked like him from behind and all that stuff. And Ovi's like, no, I do my own stunts, like he's Tom Cruise, or something like that. So, hockey especially done some great of those spots.
Well, Leaves, man, Leaves, we really appreciate you, buddy. Hey, listen, the Missin Curfew team, as our boy Swishy would say, is boots on the ground Monday night before Game 4. So I'll text you if we can get together for maybe a couple adult beverages. We'd love to see you, buddy. But, hey, you're great for the game. You've been great to Missin Curfew. Say hi to Mess and PK for us, buddy, and enjoy the final. Keep doing what you do.
All right. I look forward to seeing you guys. 1 or 2, maybe 7 or 8, maybe.
All right. That's more like night. So. That's more like it, Leaves. I like that about you.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Be well, and I'll see you in Vegas, all right?
Fellas, welcome back to Missin Curfew. Up dog, swishy swish. Thank you to our boy, Steve Levy. Guy's a true pro, man, and he loves hockey. Great question by Swishy there. I was actually going to ask him that, too, about the play-by-play in the panel, because he does both so well. But I've been impressed with ESPN's coverage this playoff. I really have. I've enjoyed... not what PK's been wearing, but I've enjoyed everything else about it, to be honest with you.
Well, it throws you for a circle when you tune in. I would just say he's a legend in the game. It's a legendary name, legendary hair. He's always looking sharp. So he's a pro through and through. We've got to know him and see him on the road, especially in the playoffs. Looking forward to Vegas with him, but also just looking forward to him calling a game because he calls a great one.
Mm-hmm.
He's unreal, boys. He's one of the, I don't know, the golden era of ESPN. When you look at it, especially when I was a kid, Steve Levy was one of those names. It was SVP, the late Stuart Scott, Steve Levy in the mix. I'd be curious to know, do you think it's a bucket list? If we had him for more time, and maybe we can ask him over some pops, do you think it's a bucket list thing for him to maybe call a play-by-play of an NBA game, like a finals game? Do you think that's something that he's even working towards, or is he just cool doing hockey and obviously the NFL and college football?
That's a great. I mean, imagine. I'm sure he would love to call a Knicks final game. Like that would probably be a dream for him, right? I mean, maybe he's too much of a fan to even be able to do the play-by-play, but I know he's a diehard Knicks fan, especially like he said at the start of the interview. So I'm sure he would love that opportunity.
Yeah, and I think these guys are so well versed in sports, in
he
general.
Is for sure.
Yeah, I feel like a guy that's been around for as long as he has. You live and breathe, sort of those moments and sport in general. Like he said, he's a huge fan of the NFL, of he's a Jets fan, right?
He unfortunately is a Jets fan. Ooh, so it stings.
Given the opportunity, if that phone ever rang for a guy like Stevie to jump on court and sit there and call an NBA final game, I mean, he'd be running there. I don't even think he'd put his shoes on.
Yeah.
He'd start running up that ramp at MSG. He'd be there in no time.
Yeah.
He's just got like that booming voice, like he's got and Kenny Albert does all sports. I feel like Levy could hop in there and it would be seamless just because he knows the games so well. He's so versatile, like Uppy said. So we'll have to ask him. I think that would be a no-brainer for him for sure.
When I think of the most versatile guys in that role, I think of Leaves and like Mike Tirico from, he'll do like football, Sunday Night Football. They'll do the Olympics and he'll do fucking the Kentucky Derby. It's like, that's not that
Does
easy.
golf?
No. Does golf? Like, I mean, those are two guys that jump out to me that are jack of all trades, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah. But he's a beauty. I'll tell you what, I would love to sit down with Mark Messier and watch a playoff fucking hockey game and just chirp the refs for 60 minutes. I would love to sit there with Moose and just be like, fella, what do you want? Blue light? There you go. Let's chirp these fucking refs, fella.
Oh my! I mean, that guy. Like when we saw him over the Four Nations, he's so jacked. Like even his bald head has muscles on it. I'm like, how is this guy is bigger than my? Like he's got muscles coming out of his head. He's so jacked.
I'll never forget. He comes in where we are. Comes into the bar, and it was right after all the fights, obviously. And I'm like, Mess, what'd you think about that? He like pushes me. He's like, that's why you don't go under man to war. That's why you fucking don't go under man to war, Obes. I'm like, I hear you, Mess. I hear you, buddy. He was so jacked ups about the fights. He's like, that's why we needed Tom Wilson. Fucking
How hard do you think his elbows are? I mean, fuck, he used to throw a nice elbow.
His elbows were, I mean,
they're probably just bone.
Some of his, I chirp you about some of your old playoff hits that come out. Mark Messier, I love you, Lewis, but he would have been suspended for forever.
Yeah.
I mean, some of his elbows were.
Good thing he got that era and those 5 cups.
There's one clip, 2 of them, where he goes by the goalie. He's like, you ever put your stick up my face like that again and you'll fucking eat it or something. He says, like, he was a beauty. So thank you to Steve Levy. He's a beauty. Swishy Updog, thanks, boys. Thank you to Hall Pass Media. Max, the Ice Pick Pickup, Kyle Casey Conway. That was Missin Curfew. Fellas.